What's up, everybody? Today I recorded a chest and triceps workout, and I'm going to start with bench press on the flat bench. I like to do a fairly wide grip there. I also like to do what people call a suicide grip. Now, I don't know why they call it a suicide grip. It looks like it's risky, but if you've ever tried it, it feels actually a whole lot more solid to me than wrapping my thumb, because it's not like wrapping your thumb is going to stop any amount of weight anyways. But here I am, I'm starting off with 135, doing a light warm-up, and then I'm going to jump up to 225 and continue to still stretch out and do a warm-up there. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this today. I kind of tweaked my pec a couple weeks ago and it wasn't feeling too great, but I went ahead and tried it anyways, and I actually felt pretty good. I had some good mobility and didn't feel any pain or any discomfort whatsoever, so I just went ahead and kept going with it. Just doing 315 here. I'm going to do this for 3 sets. This first set, I think I get 10 reps. So I switched from doing a powerlifting bench into more of a bodybuilder bench here. The reason I do the suicide grip is I no longer touch my chest when I bring the weight down, so I kind of control it the entire time, and I feel like it gives me a lot more strength out of the grip and the weight for pushing it. And I didn't mean I switched grips here. I meant I've switched my grips a few years ago into more of a bodybuilder bench, just in order to try to use my chest more instead of where a strength bench where you would use your legs, arch your back, hit it lower, use a lot more triceps, and it's really would be less chest overall. But that would do it for bench, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to incline. Usually after a bench workout like that, I can't go extremely heavy on incline, but right here I'm just warming up again, stretching out with 135. So I put 225 on here. I felt like I was going to be able to do more, but after I did it this set, it was pretty rough actually. I didn't get as many as I'd like to. Normally I can rep this out pretty well, but after a bench workout, it pretty well exhausts you on another heavy big push move. So I just go ahead and stick to this weight, and I do it 3 sets, I think. If I had a spotter, I'd probably have gone up weight, but I feel like incline is one of those where my triceps will fail like suddenly, and then you're kind of just stuck there with the weight just falling over your face. It's not a good place to be, and since I don't use spots or guide rails, I typically try to just make sure I can do as many as I can. And then I'll move on to incline dumbbell flies. I like doing the incline better. I feel like it really does a better pull than the flat bench. However, I will do the flat bench pretty regularly. A lot of times I used to do them both, but I usually do 1 set of dumbbells, and then I'll do like a cables or a machine. Jump up to the 60s and do reps there. I just continue to try to get as low as I can and try to turn my hands a little bit outward. I feel like it gives a better pull on the muscle when I turn my hands instead of just keeping them flat the whole way. And by outward, I mean turn them towards the ground. And for this last set here, I go up to the 70s. I still feel like I maybe could have done more, but I didn't go on to another set. Since I was going to do another fly movement, I usually don't do as many sets that way, since it's pretty well a similar move. Although this is the incline move, so it hits it a little higher on the muscle. And here I'm setting up on the Pec Dec Machine, just doing the pretty similar fly type move. I like to not do dumbbells on both because I feel like with the dumbbells it's more about the negative move, and with the cable / machines it's more about the push. So jump up to 170 here, still doing 10 reps or so, maybe 12. And what I meant by on the push move is when you have the machine maxed out at its peak, then I feel like your muscles contracted and working the entire time, whereas the dumbbells, when you're squeezed out, it's not as a flexed position as in the negative. So I jumped up to 250 here on the next set, and I'll do 2 more of those, just because it's not really, I don't know that it's really 250 pounds on that machine, but just do what you can. And that's basically going to do it for chest today. So now I'm going to move on to triceps. This is one of my favorite moves. I pretty much took this straight from Ronnie Coleman. It's skull crushers, superset with close grip bench. And I just do them all in the same rep, or same set. So however many skull crushers I do, I'll pull the weight just down and do that same amount as close grip bench reps. Sorry about that camera angle. I never could find a good one where the plate just wasn't in the way the entire time. So I'll be jumping around a bunch of times. I just stick to the same weight here for all 3 sets. Since it's basically a superset move, I usually don't bump up too much. Sometimes I'll put on a 25 on the end, but today I wasn't feeling it just after all the heavy presses I did. So this was still a good push move for me. I grab the outer grips too on this. I feel like the inner grips, it keeps me too narrow and stresses the wrist more than anything. So I usually grab the outer grips on the easy bar. So I'm moving on to overhead extension with the dumbbells. I really like these a lot. I feel like it does a good outer tricep push on it and really has a really good force of gravity, a natural move where the entire motion is really putting your muscle to work. So I've coined it the lounging tricep because I like to make sure I kick back and lean while I'm doing some extensions over my head. People always give me a hard time with this, but really why I'm doing it is because it helps me focus my center of gravity with the tricep over my body, and that way I don't cheat. So that way it's keeping the tricep in line with my foot.
The lounging tricep.
But yeah, the lounging tricep, you should try it. So I bump up to the 45s here. I actually wanted to do 50s, but I think I wasn't paying close enough attention, so I didn't actually grab it, but it still felt good. Yeah, you gotta make sure you get that lounge in. So I'll give you a better shot of it on the left side too. I wasn't really set up for it last set. There it is. I got lucky enough today where I could film both sides of my extensions on the angles. I had both cable machines set up, so you can at least see both my arms in action today. But yeah, I'm doing these single arm, kind of a kickback move. I feel like I get a better motion out of it with the cables than the dumbbells a lot of times, since the dumbbells, it's kind of not really as focused on forcing the tricep outwards. The cable helps you push it straight down. This next set here, I'm going to jump up to, I think it's the 80s, and just try to get as many as I can there. For my last set, I was feeling bold. I tried the 110s, I think, and I did pretty well on my right arm, but I still wasn't too happy with as many as I got. So I do that again on my left arm, and I definitely wasn't happy. I think I dropped the weight here on it and just get out a few more reps.
Do it for chest and triceps. Hopefully it was an interesting workout. I felt like I was feeling pretty good, went pretty heavy. You just keep making good choices.